Hari Om Nana.
Hari Om Talli.
Time ayinappudu you can get started, Nana.
Yes.
Nana, one more thing, I'll just mute everyone. You can unmute yourself, please.
Yes, and
I couldn't hear what you said. Can you repeat?
yeah, I did not unmute myself. You would better plan for the Gita chapters chanting. We can have one chapter every day along with Atma bodha.
Sare.
You pick your the volunteers for that and the date also for that.
Adi rapid nunchi cheddama?
Yeah. If
do it from
people are available, we can even, before we complete the 18th chapter, we can even have this twice or thrice in cycles.
Okay.
That
You
will
want
be
us
good.
to start today or tomorrow?
Tomorrow or the day after. Because
Fine.
I don't want to hurry you on this.
Yeah.
Because volunteers are difficult to get by.
No, that's fine. We whoever is available, we'll do it in cycles. So we'll start with chapter 1 tomorrow.
Okay.
Fine.
Right.
Okay, Nana. You modulate, Nana. It's time. You can start.
I'm starting now. Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutav Vande Bhagavantao Punah Punah Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudirayet Atha Atma bodha Pratasmarami Hrudi Samspuradatma Tattvam Satchit Sukham Paramaham Sagatim Turiyam Yet Swapna Jagara Sushuptamavaiti Nityam Tad Brahma Nishkalamaham Nacha Bhuta Sanghaha. The Tatparya from the Swamiji's text. In the early hours of the day, I meditate upon the essential self, clearly experienceable in the heart cave, that which is existence, knowledge, bliss in nature, that which is the supreme goal, the Paramahamsa state, that which is the fourth plane of consciousness, which constantly illumines all experiences in the dream, waking, and deep sleep conditions, I am that partless Brahman, not this assemblage of matter envelopments. Now I would read the introduction given by Swami Chinmayanandaji. Okay. This text need not be projected. If you lend me your ears, that should be good enough. Otherwise, you will be partly using your eyes, partly using your ears, which may be a kind of a conflict in you. I leave it to you. The introduction to the Atma bodha text as given by Puja Swamiji Chinmayanandaji. No scientific text can be prescribed to the students without an initial chapter giving the definition of the terms and terminologies that are used in the body of the text. The scientist visualizes the world from his viewpoint. He sees truths that are not visible to others, and since he sees visions which are not the common property of all, in his language, he will have to use unconventional words which have for him some special imports and secret suggestions. If these extraordinary words are not rightly understood by the teacher and the taught, the transference of knowledge would be impossible. Therefore, in every textbook of science, the first few chapters describe the categories. Sufferings and sorrows form a part of life's game. There is none who has not undergone pressing agonies in his own day-to-day life, either physically or mentally or emotionally. Yet, the Yet nobody seems to invite them. All that we do is to avoid as far as possible this aspect of life coming in contact with us. The more we want to escape its cruel jaws, the more it takes an endless variety of subtler and sharper ways of attacking us. Physical ailments form but one tribe of hordes that barbarously attack us. Even more relentless and cruel are our mental sufferings. As we progress in our knowledge of the curative processes for ameliorating the physical sufferings, we observe that the mind's ill health affects the body more than what one would imagine, and this kind of suffering proves all the more difficult to deal with. Mental disintegration is more dangerous, for it brings about not only misery to the sufferer, but a kind of dangerous disharmony in and excruciating intolerance with the surroundings of such an individual. On the whole, it means each one of us who is suffering, and is there anyone who is not? From this inner malady is an unhappy center spreading all around us unhappiness and restlessness. A solution to these problems, very complicated and extremely confusing to the average mind, is what we seek individually and collectively. The results of such investigations conducted by the ancient inquirers and the data collected from their personal experiences constitute the bulk of our scriptures. Today, instead of searching for any radical solution and specific cure for this problematic disease and consequent suffering in life, what man actually does in society is to collect around him various kinds of escape distractions and compromise dopes. Through all kinds of foul methods, he vainly hopes to drown his sorrows in ever so many unhealthy indulgences. By these methods, at best, man succeeds in turning his mind away from the actual facts of life as they are, to analyze scientifically and to observe closely the nature and behavior of our outer world of objects and the inner instruments of experience in us. These are the methods employed in the Upanishads by which the seers have discovered a happy solution for the great problems of man and his life. Vedanta is the science of life. It explains the beauty of life. It points out the perfect goal of existence and provides schemes and methods by which sincere seekers can make their pilgrimage easily, successfully. Since the teacher has to point out a goal transcending the ordinary realms of experiences, he has to borrow his vocabulary from the everyday language and present them, no doubt, strangely dressed up in special significances. Naturally, the obvious dictionary meaning will not be a true guidance in digesting and assimilating the declarations of the scriptures. The golden key by which the scriptures are opened and its divine knowledge brought out is found in the books like Atma bodha, which we have taken up today, which explains exhaustively the categories in Vedanta. Such volumes are called the Prakarana Granthas. Knowledge available in the world of books is found in two types of records: textbooks of the science explaining the theory and technique. These are called the Shastras. And the books that explain the terms and terminologies used in the Shastra are called the Prakarana Granthas. Panchadashi, Viveka Chodamani, Tattva Bodha, Atma Bodha, Aparokshanubhuti are some of the examples of the latter types of books. They explain the Shastra and they do not contribute any original thought of their own. Sri Shankara took upon himself as his life's great mission the reorientation of Hinduism. After having written his commentaries upon the sacred books of our culture, he provided the seekers with a voluminous devotional literature. Singing his own love for the Lord, in the days of his perfect maturity, he took up his pen to write introductory books introducing the theme of Vedanta for the infants in the spiritual world. Atma bodha is one of them. This is not an original book in as much as there is not a single idea in it which is an entirely original contribution of Sri Shankara. Every one of them is culled out from the garden of the Upanishads and strung together on the cord of his poetry, interspersed with his exquisite similia. This wonderful garland, so offered by Shankara to adorn Mother Shruti, is the Atma bodha. As a modern materialistic man comes to study more and more the contents of the Upanishads, it is possible that he feels cheated of the cheaper joys of his previous earlier life, of mental distractions and physical dissipations. This negative feeling of a nameless, sad regret saps not all enthusiasm in the student. But this feeling comes only so long as one has not fully realized the fact that the usual Broadway distractions have a knack of wearing away too soon their enchanting fascinations. One gets quickly bored of such superficialities. An intelligent person very quickly loses all his attractions for such things. He discovers that his mind has a tendency to fly away from all its objects of entertainment and come to torment itself by its own thoughts, and that are indeed very unpleasant for itself. A man of indiscriminate intellect never questions why it is so, but instead he hurriedly discovers a new set of excitements and a fresh pattern of distractions to engage his mind's momentary fancies. He may even turn to God of the usual formalistic religions, visit churches, mosques, temples, give away something in charity, build a house of God or a hospital, run to a hall of sermon, and even take up to some forms of prayer. but all of them are again to him a new variety of distraction to keep his mind away from weeping at itself and thus escape its own suicidal brutalities. People who thus follow religion as an escape from themselves ultimately come to gain nothing except perhaps a lingering sorrow, dulled by a blind faith that benumbs the very capacity to perceive their own tragedies of life. Scientific detachment, honest observation, logical conclusions, and heroic decisions alone can help an individual to come away from his own life's fallacies. Atma bodha supplies all these requisites, and Shankara has made his scientific treatise a chiseled beauty with a distinct cadence and a rhythm of its own. The poet in Shankara is let loose in these 68 stanzas. No verse is here which has not one simile or the other. Each is a picture, a sure and striking example. These examples are real hammer strokes that nail the elusive Vedantic ideals onto the immature comprehension of all early students of Vedanta. They are all such striking examples, so pregnant with suggestions that to ruminate upon them is in itself a profitable meditation for the new initiates. May the infinite effulgence, the silent witness of all our actions, bless us all. Swami Chinmayananda. Yeah. Brahmara, you can start.
Which one you want us to play, Nana? The Atma bodha shlokas?
Yeah, Atma bodha shlokas. Maybe about 10 to 15.
Okay. Yeah. The plain shloka or the pratipadartha with pratipadartha?
Only shloka.
Only the Sanskrit shlokas.
Sanskrit shloka.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I will get to the pratipadartha and we'll cover the Tathparya also.
Fine.
Yeah.
The Swami Chinmayananda, especially the last paragraph where he hammers in the and scientific disposition, honest observations, and intellectual. I don't know what those very powerful words he's used.
Yes.
They are like hammer. They're like, they're hammering into the mundane mind that seeks to get distracted, and so beautifully he has expressed himself.
Correct.
Into how we use religion as an escape method. And we think we're doing something, but we're actually not.
Yeah. And all his lectures, luckily, as long as I was in Bangalore, I did not miss any of his lectures. However distant it may have been from our residence, I had the advantage of a friend or so who used to take me along. And that was a very rich experience for me.
Yeah. Bela, there is one which is only shlokas, no? This one is with the pratipadartha and the English meaning. 1 minute, let me share that. This will this will be a little time consuming.
Okay, I will share that then. The third
the other one you share. Yeah.
Yeah, you okay.
This one you can share when Nana starts explaining the shlokas individually.
That is, after you do some 10 or 15, I'll come back to the first one and we'll go forward from there.
Okay.
Right.
I would request everybody to have a copy of this. The Swami Chinmayananda's PDF was shared in the group. Please go back, scroll up, and then keep that ready, especially for those who do not follow Sanskrit, the lyrics. The Swami Chinmayananda's commentary has both the Pratipadartha as well as the English transliteration of the shloka. That will enable you to follow the chant. Yeah, this is the one for chanting. Yeah. Okay. Shall I go ahead, Nana?
Please.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Tapo bhikshina papanam shantanam vitaraginam mumukshunam apekshoyam Atma bodho vidhiyate. Bodhonyas sadhanebhyo hi sakshan mokshaika sadhanam pakasya vannivat jnanam vina moksho na siddhyati. Avirodhitaya karma na vidyam vinivartayet. Vidya vidyam nihantyeva tejastimira sanghavat. Parichinna iva jnanat tannashe sati kevalaha swayam prakashate hyatma megha shumaniva. Ajnana-kalusham jivam jnanabhyasad-vinirmalam kritva jnanam swayam nashet jalam katakarenuvat. Samsara-swapnatulyo hi ragadveshadi-sankulaha swakale satyavad-bhati prabodhe satya satbhavet. Tavat satyam jagad bhati shuktikarajatam yatha yavanna jnayate brahma sarvadhishthanamadvayam upadane khiladhare jaganti parameshware sargastitilayan yanti budbudani vavarini sachidatmanyanusyute nitye vishnau prakalpitaah vyaktayo vividha sarvaha hatake katakadivat yatha kasho hrishikesho nanopadhigato vibhuhu tadbhedat bhinnavad bhati tannashe kevalo bhavet. Om Tat Sat. Should I continue or this is fine?
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Now you can revert to the PDF which contains the Pratipadartha.
Yeah.
That is for the benefit of people who see this.
Correct. Bela is taking care of the sharing screen.
Okay.
Thank you, Bela.
Yeah.
Pratipadartha with Swami Chinmayanandaji, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah. You can show that. That will be easier to scroll up and down. There is one more from Shankaracharya. There is one Shankaracharya website, but there it's individual shlokas. So every time one shloka is over, you have to revert back to the main page and then get the second shloka. So, but I think Swami Chinmayananda's will be fine. Yeah. There is some commentary in between, but that
correct
should be good. Yeah.
So here we are. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Tapo bhikshena papanam shantanam vitaraginam mumukshonam apekshoyam Atma bodho vidhiyate. this Atma bodha text is going to be unfolded in respect of who. There is a qualification of the student that the teacher is as though demanding. And the qualification of the student is what? Tapobihi, the one who had undergone a lot of austerities, who has tried to keep himself together, tried to keep himself always, always thinking of the truths of the higher. Tapobihi Krina Papanam. And with those austerities, he has as though exhausted his papas. Krina Papanam, Shantanam, the one who is tranquil within himself in his mind. Shantanam. When is that possible, that Shantanam? When the ragadveshas are sublimated to a very great extent, that Shantanam is possible. In the Gita, second chapter, ragadvesha viyuktaistu vishayanindriyaischaran atmavasher vidheyatma prasadam adhigachyati was mentioned in the second chapter. That Shantanam, that prasadam is that Shantanam. Shantanam vitaraginam, that Shanti is obtainable by getting rid of this ragas. Vita means vigata. Vigata means devoid of. Devoid of what? Raginam. Raga, which includes dvesha also. Ragam cha dvesham. Vita vigataha. Mumukshunam. And you must have this qualification unmistakably required. Mumukshunam. You must have the moksho me bhuyat iti ichha, tevra ichha. That is the purushartha for you, and that is in preference to the other three purusharthas. In preference to artha, kama, dharma, you must have this mumukshutvam. Mumukshonam apekshoyam. Apekshoyam means in regard to them, having a lot of concern for them, apekshoyam. Atma bodho vidhiyate. This Atma bodha text is going to be revealed. It is going to be composed, is what is mentioned, vidhiyate. Okay, I'm composing the Atma bodha. These are the words of who? Adi Shankaracharya. The translation is by Swami Chennamyananda, but the Sanskrit is from Adi Shankaracharya. I am composing the Atma bodha, this treatise of knowledge of the self, for those who have purified themselves by austerities and are peaceful in heart and calm, who are free from cravings and are desirous of liberation. And what kind of austerities? Supposing you have a kind of a conflict between dharma and adharma. Not that you do not know dharma, but you have, facing a particular situation in life, you have come to a conflict as to what you need to follow, dharma. And if you follow the dharma, you may be harming somebody else, etc. So there is a Vishesha dharma required. All these things require a kind of a debate within you, and a debate which is in conformity with the dharma, and that becomes an austerity. And after that, you firmly decide in favor of doing the action in the most dharmic way possible, in the way that is true to your conscience. That becomes an austerity. Who have purified themselves by austerities. Those kind of austerities, it is not easy to conform to perform, but it is difficult. And the difficult thing will be instrumental in cleansing the mind and preparing the mind for assimilating the knowledge of the higher, like it is being given through this Atma bodha text, that are peaceful in heart and calm, who are free from cravings and are desirous of liberation. As we are seeing the Tatparya, we must try to relate the English to the Sanskrit. So as we keep on doing that, more and more we do, less and less turbulence will be there. Whenever we read a sloka, the sloka itself will be as though revealing to us. We will not have any recourse to the Tatparya at all. We can go to the commentary of the Swamiji, etc. And composing the Atma bodho vidiyate, this treatise of knowledge of the self, okay, for those who have purified themselves, tapobihi, kshina papanam, they purified themselves by austerities. And that is the tapobihi, and are peaceful in heart. Peaceful in heart is what? Shantanam, Vitaraginam, free from cravings and desires of liberation. Mumukshunam, desires of liberation. Atma bodha vidiyate. Okay? This Shankaracharya has so very humbly as though has started the Atma bodha text. And I tell you, like even in the case of the Bhajagovindam. Bhajagovindam is, to my mind, much more powerful, whiplashing, and almost slapping us on our face compared to Atma bodha. Atma bodha is more cultured, more at ease with itself, and always caring the listener, whereas Bhajagovindam, my God, Bhajagovindam, I don't know whether we had done that Bhajagovindam. It's a wonderful text. Bhajagovindam, Bhajagovindam, Govindam, Bhajamodhamate. Hey, deluded fellow. Hey, Modhamate, Modhamate. He does not care about hurting us. That is his intention. Intention is to hurt us so that we are prepared to listen to him. Govindam bhajamodhamate samprapte sannihite kale nahi rakshati dukrun karne. In the first verse itself, he has talked of death. Samprapte sannihite kale, when the hour of death nears. Samprapte sannihite kale nahi rakshati dukrun karne. All this empirical knowledge that you are gathering through this grammar and some other thing you are trying to get by heart, it is not going to be of any help to you. Samprapte sannihite kale nahi rakshati dukrun karne. Mudha jahihi dhana agama trushnam. Hey, deluded fellow, Mudha. Hey, Mudhamate. That kind of a whiplash. In every sloka, there is a slap on our face for what all we have been thus far without caring to know what we have to know. That is the Bhajagovindam. Compared to that, this is Atma bodha, is a very great text, but it's a kind of a cultured text compared to Bhajagovindam. Bhajagovindam is a whiplash of all slokas. Okay? Some 31 verses contributed to by, the legend says, both Adi Shankaracharya and his disciples. They were excited the way Shankaracharya, looking at an old man at the banks of Ganges, doing some manana and getting by heart the grammar rules. He got so upset with what the old man was saying, doing. He got into this whiplashing poetry. Compared to that, Atma bodha is a treatise of knowledge of the self. For those who purified themselves by austerities and are peaceful in heart and calm, who are free from cravings and are desirous of liberation. Supposing we do not have any of these qualifications, what are we to do? It is time we started acquiring all these things. Tapobihi kshina papanam, shantanam, vitaraginam, mumukshunam, all these qualifications we ought to obtain if we have to profit from the Atma bodha text, which is going to be a tremendous revelation of who we are. Okay, now second verse. Second verse. It's a kind of a whiplash. Bodhonya sadhanebhyo hi sakshan mokshaika sadhanam pakasya vannivat jnanam vina moksho na sijyati. Jnanam vina, without jnanam, moksho na sijyati. Without jnanam, jnanam vina, mokshaha. Mokshaha is freedom. Freedom from bondage. Bondage of what? Janma mrityu, jara vyadhi, samsaraha. Vina moksho na sijyati. This jnanam vina moksho na sijyati. Bodha anya sadhanebhyo hi. Though bodha for the knowledge. Knowledge means what? Atma jnana, knowledge of the self. Self means Atma. Anya sadhanebhyo hi. In comparison to other contributory causes. He indeed, Sakshat, the one direct, immediate, okay, redeeming feature of your sadhana must be what? Moksha sadhanam, the means for liberation. Pakasya, for cooking. Vannivat, just as fire. Just as fire is a direct means for pakaha. Direct means for creating any kind of a food item for consumption. Just like that, jnanam vina, without jnanam. Jnanam is equated to the vannivat. Vanni for paka. Jnanam for atma bodha. Jnanam vina, mokshaha. This emancipation, that is freedom from bondage. Moksha means freedom from bondage. And revealing to yourself, making you, enabling you recognize who you are. Mokshaha na siddhyate. It cannot be accomplished. Na siddhyate means it cannot be accomplished. Do whatever you like. All other things will be related to action only. And no action, however great, however massive, however pure, however very meaningful, etc. All those actions at best will prepare you for the knowledge of the higher to take place in you. And the knowledge of the higher, which is jnanam, atma jnanam, jnanam vina, mokshaha na siddhyati. Simply because apparently all of us have forgotten who we indeed are because of avidya. And avidya has to be knocked off. How do you knock off avidya? Action is actually born out of avidya. Any kind of action is born out of avidya. And what is born out of avidya? The progeny of avidya. How can the progeny of avidya knock out avidya? What is required is vidya. Next verse is going to talk of that. Yeah. Can we go to the next verse? Yeah. Avirodhitaya karma na vidyam vinivartayet. Vidya avidyam nihanti eva tejaha timira sanghavat. What beautiful similes. Tejaha timira sanghavat. Earlier verse, pakasya vannivat. Pakasya vannivat jnanam vina moksho na siddhyati. Pakasya vannivat. Vanni vina pakaha na siddhyati in the earlier verse. Vanni vina, without that fire, there is no cooking at all. You may have readied a lot of other ingredients on the cooking platform, but all those things are just items for you to cook. And how do you cook? Vanni is required. Vanni vina pakasya nasi pakaha nasi jati. So to here, avirodhitaya karma. Karma is not opposed to ajnanam. Avirodhitaya karma. It is not opposed to ajnanam. Why it is not opposed to ajnanam? Why are we indulging ourselves in karma? And what is the karma sannyasa being talked of by Kitaya in the Gita? Why do we have to get rid of karma? Karma sannyasa means renouncing action. Even though amidst intense activity, you renounce action. How? Jnanena. Jnana karma sannyasa. Atma jnanena karma sannyasa. The karma sannyasa will alone take you forward, and that is possible after jnana samupadhyana. Karma cannot lift you from out of your present morass of suffering. Avirodhitaya karma, na avidyam, na avidyam. This avagraha is there. That yes, there the dirgham, whenever this is there, the one will have to be put in front of that vidya. Avidyam, na avidyam vinivartayet. Na, no, avidyam, ajnanam vinivartayet. It cannot knock off avidya. Which cannot knock off avidya? This karma. Karma because it is unopposed to avidya, because it is the progeny of avidya. It is because of ajnanam I indulge myself in karma, various activities. So, what is the progeny of ajnanam cannot remove ajnanam. So, avirodhitaya karma, na avidyam vinivartayet. Vidya, vidya eva, vidya, avidyam nihanti eva. Vidya alone, knowledge alone. Avidyam, this ajnanam, nihanti eva. It will get rid of that. It will beat it blue and black. Nihanti eva. How? See the beautiful simile. Tejaha timira sanghavat. Earlier pakasya vannivat. Tejaha timira sanghavat. How easy to understand. Even the rank beginner will appreciate such kind of beautiful, simple poetry. Tejaha. Tejaha timira sanghavat. As the light, how it dispels the deep darkness. How tejaha timira sanghavat. Whenever you have gone out, you had locked the house and gone out. And maybe you had kept some bed light going on in the house. Okay? And when you come back, open your padlock and enter the house is all dark. What do you do to get rid of the darkness? You simply flip on the switch of your lamp in your living room through which you are entering the house. And Tejaha, the lamp's Tejas, the brilliance, Timira Sanghavat, the packet of darkness is totally removed, just gone away. Tejaha, Timira Sanghavat. Nothing else is required to be done. Nothing else is required to be done. You have to get in place the opponent of darkness. And the opponent of darkness is the fighter, Tejaha. And you as though bring the fighter into the arena and the darkness goes away. Darkness goes away without any address. Tejaha timira sanghavat. So too, jnanam will get rid of this ajnanam. Action cannot destroy ignorance, for it is not in conflict with or opposed to ignorance. Knowledge does verily destroy ignorance as light destroys deep darkness. Why? You see, with this Tatparya, it's better to read. Why is it not possible for the austerities and discipline to give what knowledge can offer us? The word knowledge is used here in a figurative sense. The attainment of knowledge really means the rediscovery of the self in us, which has never been non-existent. That is the one important thing to note. It has always been existent. It is the Siddha Vastu. There is nothing you need to do to get it. It is already got. It is already with you. It is a Siddha Vishaya. That you are a free person is a Siddha Vishaya. You have to know that. That is the Asiddha Vishaya. And for you to know that, you require a means of knowledge. And the means of knowledge is the Shastra Vakya and Guru Vedanta Vakya, Guru Upadesha, Satsanga. All these are the means. The attainment of knowledge really means the rediscovery of the self in us, which has never been non existent. It is like the dreamer gaining the knowledge of the waker. When you are dreaming, you may have dreamt some very likable sequences in your dream, or maybe very difficult to digest sequences which are very sorrowful, very disturbing, and which are not likable to you. And when you have woken up from the dream, then alone can the dreamer's dream sorrows end. If the Atma be, as described in the scriptures, ever present, Siddha, all pervasive, it is everywhere and complete, it is Purnaha, etc., then it is not to be striven for and obtained from somewhere because it is already with us. Therefore, even divine actions do not, in the sense of a direct cause and effect. Divine actions means what? Divine actions means doing some wonderful bhajans of Paramatma. All those things are divine actions. Okay, you are highly immersed in doing all those bhajans and you are related, no doubt. You are in a different sphere of activity and you are emotionally very highly charged up. All that is granted, but it does not help you. It does not help you because it is all action, and the action avirodhataya karma na avidyam vinivartayet vidya avidyam nihanti eva tejaha timira sangavat. That vidya is required. Vidya is to be to be digested through a mind which is well prepared for it. That is why the Karma Yoga Anushtana is required. It only helps to clean the inner equipments of perception, the mirror in which we can see the true and real nature of our own self. What it only helps is what? These divine actions. That is the Karma Yoga Anushtana, etc. All those things. Asaktihi anabhishvangaha putradara gruhadishu. In the 13th chapter of the Gita was mentioned. All those things will help us. Supposing there is a room in darkness, sweep it for hours, or let an army of men carry darkness in buckets and baskets to pour it out. Room will still be in darkness. Sweeping is not the right method of removing darkness. Now, all these are actions. Now let us take a light in our hand and enter the dark chamber. However thick the darkness be, in a moment it will be illumined. Similarly, ignorance, ajnana in us, that envelops the pure light of knowledge has seemingly veiled it. As though covered with ignorance, the luminous consciousness, the self, is ever bright, and the enveloping ignorance has only to be brushed aside. Remove the misunderstanding about our true nature, and Atma stands revealed. One need not discover it somewhere, but one has only to remove the veil of ajnana when it is rediscovered. In this sense, it is stated here that action cannot destroy ignorance. Knowledge alone is the antidote for ignorance. Parichinna iva ajnanat tannashe sati kevalaha swayam prakashate hi atma megha paye amshumaniva. Amshuman is the Ravi. Amshu is what? Amshu is ray. The one, Amshuman, the one who is full of rays, Amshuman, the Ravi, Megha Paye, Amshumaniva. Megha, the cloud. There is a cloud cover for the effulgent sun. and looked as though it is all dark, looked like it is already sunset, and there is darkness enveloping the environment. But a gust of wind came and knocked off the megha. And then Swayam Prakashatehi Atma Megha Paye Amshumaniva. Amshuman Swayam Prakashate. Megha is removed, knocked off. When that has happened, what happened? Amshuman, in its own glory, Amshuman is available for you to discern. So too will be the Atma Darshanam. When Ajnana Megha is removed, then Swayam Prakashatehi Atma Megha Paye Amshumaniva. Parichinnaha. Parichinnaha means limited, finite. Iva, as though. Ajnanat, because of ignorance. Tannashe, when the ajnana is removed, tannashe sati, when ajnana is destroyed, kevalaha, that alone, which alone? Atma alone. Swayam prakashate, it reveals itself by itself. How megha apaye, when the meghas pass away, amshumaniva, like even the sun, the soul appears to be finite because of ignorance. When the ignorance is removed, destroyed, self which does not admit of any multiplicity truly reveals itself by itself, like the sun when the clouds pass away. What is the meaning of this self does not admit of any multiplicity? What is the meaning?
It is it is all pervading, and that is the only one that is there. So there is no way there is another.
Correct. And supposing you are in extreme zenith of contemplation, you have as though rediscovered yourself. That is a self rediscovery. That does not admit of any multiplicity, means your neighbor will not have another self. It is the same self. The same self. If it is not the same self, this same self cannot be aparichinnaha, cannot be sarvagataha, cannot be anantaha, cannot be sat, cannot be chit, cannot be anandaha, unless it has the quality of not admitting any multiplicity. It will not qualify to be anantaha, sachitananda swarupaha. Soul appears to be finite because of ignorance. When ignorance is removed, it is infinite. Infinite means what? That self is infinite. Infinite in you, it is rediscovered by you. But even in the ignorant person, it is you, that self, which is evident to you, but not evident to the ignorant person. That is why any jnani, when he looks at us, he has the bhavana of looking at another jnani who may not have known himself. That is the difference between a jnani and people like us. Soul appears to be finite because of ignorance. When ignorance is knocked off, self which does not admit of any multiplicity truly reveals itself by itself, like the sun when the clouds pass away. Megha apaye amshumaniva. Megha apaye amshumaniva. And this megha is what owes its existence to what? Megha is available because of Amshuman. And that megha as though has covered Amshuman. See the paradox. Same thing with us. Atma. Atma is covered by Ajnanam. And Ajnanam, from where has it come? Because of lack of knowledge of Atma. And that has to be removed. How? jnanena. Avirodhitaya karma na vidyam vinivartayet. Vidya avidyam nihanti eva tejaha timira sanghavat. Ajnana kalusham jivam jnanabhyasad vinirmalam krutva jnanam swayam nashyet jalam katakarenuvat. Katakarenuvat. That is like the crystal of alam, I believe. Katakarenuvat. Kataka, that fruit, that hard nut, that has the quality of cleansing muddy waters, especially in a tropical country like India, especially during monsoon season, when the waters of the rivers and waters of even the wells are full of these flowing rivers that carry mud. All those things are part of the waters that you collect normally. So to make the waters palatable, in the olden days, the villagers used to have the kataka nut. They used to powder that and put it into the pot of water, which they have collected from the river or the lake or the well, and allow it for a couple of hours. The water becomes very, very clean. You decant that and use that. And at the bottom, you will find the kataka nut powder which you have dropped into the pot of water. That also is there. It has done its job. What is the job? It has cleansed that water. That cleansed that water. The muddy particles are equated to ajnanam. That ajnanam is removed by this jnanam. Jnanam is what? Jnanam that you acquired through the Shastra Vakyas. Jnanam that you acquired through the Guru Upadesha. And after that, the jnanam also settles down. It has no more any function. It has revealed yourself to yourself. It has done its purpose and it takes leave and goes away. Ajnana kalusham jivam. This jiva is stained by ignorance. Ajnana kalusham jivam. Jnanabhyasat vinirmalam. And when abhyasa, yogena, then you have acquired by constant repetition of the Shastra Vakyas. And there is a vritti that is generated in your mind. That vritti is called what? Brahmakara vritti. As long as you keep on thinking of Kittaya, not limiting him to being Yashoda Tanaya, Vasudeva Tanaya, Devaki Tanaya, not limiting to only those. Though all those he had been, but you have the vision of Kittaya being Satchit Ananda Swarupaha. Satchidananda Swarupaha, that kind of a akhanda akara vritti. Akhanda means, khanda means what? Part. Akhanda means partless. Partless akara vritti. That which is anantam. Satyam jnanam anantam brahma. That kind of a thought of kitaya you entertain by abhyasa yogena, by constant practice, then that is called jnanabhyasa. Jnanabhyasat vinirmalam. That becomes pure. Which becomes pure? This ajnana kalusham jivam becomes pure. That ajnana kalusham jivam is where? That is in the mind. That becomes pure. Krutva jnanam, having done the knowledge, having made knowledge, having given you that knowledge, having bestowed you with that means for rediscovery of yourself, swayam jalam katakarenuvat swayam nashyet. In the same waters, it disappears. It disappears. So afterwards, when you have rediscovered yourself, that is why people who have rediscovered themselves, they do not advertise. They do not have a placard saying, I am Jivan Muktaha. None of those. And people who have those kind of placards are deceitful. They are hypocrites to themselves. They are hypocrites in the sense they are deceiving themselves and there's no growth for them. A person who has rediscovered himself, he will be ashamed. Really, my God, even this much I did not know, that I am a free person all the time, and I have been shackled. I was thinking I have been jailed by these fetters of ajnanam. I did not know at all. Oh, Kitaya, you have helped me. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry I have taken such a lot of time to rediscover myself and rediscover also that you and I are the same. Aham Brahmasmi iti jnanena. You kind of feel ashamed that you have taken such a long time to know who you are. You have been all the time and you have not known all the time who you are. You will not be ashamed. Where is the need for a placard? Where is the need for advertisement? And people who do those kind of advertisements, they are harmful to the society. They are very, very harmful to the society. Beware of them. I think about 4 or 5, if we do, it's okay. We can do justice to Atma bodha. From tomorrow, we will have, starting from the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, we will have some bhaktas chant the chapter completely, then the second chapter the next day, etc. And afterwards, some 10 to 15 verses of Atma bodha. That's how we will go forward. Is that okay?
Yes, Nana.
Nanaji.
Oh, okay. All right. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramayah. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om, everybody.
Hari Om Nana, thank you.
Nana.
Hari Om Nana, thank
Hari
you.
Om, Tari. Bye bye.